Minecraft encourages a near infinite amount of creativity. Players take advantage of this not only inside the game, but also they're uniquely capable of coming up with ideas outside of it, because the community and Minecraft work together closely to improve the game, and that's why there are so many bad suggestions out there, but there are also so many good ones. What is the case for the zombie with a shield for a door, or the rickshaw cart, or even the murky mirror? Well, why don't we find out today as we go through the 50 best ideas of the entire year. 2022's best suggestions is coming right up. So this is coming from the Minecraft suggestions subreddit. Minecraft did start their own official place for feedback a few years back, but they've stopped using it and marking ideas as under review, which lets us know they either forgot about it or they just haven't been looking at it for a while, whereas the Minecraft suggestions subreddit is going very, very strong, with the 50th best idea of the year having 881 upvotes, because when a player is under the glowing effect, their arm in first-person view should glow too, is a really good point. Like, wait, why is it that when you get hit with a glowing arrow, on Java only, why is it when you get hit by those arrows, you can't see your own glow? It stands to reason the glow is a universal effect, not just for the person hitting you with the arrow, and so I definitely think this is an idea they should add, alongside spectral arrows as a whole to Bedrock, personally. I mean, I'm just saying. But yeah, I think this is a really good idea, just like how the next one, the 49th best idea of the year, is 1.19 idea, rare monument trees. So it's a little bit late for this one, but I wanted to go through it anyway. Their idea is that they should be able to have a rare, naturally generated version of every tree of great size called monument trees. It'd be something cool to have something unique to attract them to the player, perhaps unique loot, mobs, or structure, or perhaps a way for the player to grow them in their own base. So a monument oak would be 2 times taller, a monument spruce would be 1.5 times taller than a mega spruce, but with a thicker base of 3x3 or 4x4, and their idea is, what if trees could grow even bigger? Which is funny, because I feel like this is an idea I've actually had before, of like, why don't we have bigger individual trees? I think every player sees the spruce recipe and says, wait, so if you can grow that as a 1 or a 2x2, why can't we do this for every tree? And yeah, having a bigger, rarer version of every tree is a fun way to represent that trees are very different in the real world, and they don't just have 2 or 3 archetypes. I personally think that's pretty good. I also think that the 48th best idea, flowers should be placeable in groups like candles and pickles, is a great one, because if you've ever placed down candles and pickles, it's really satisfying to see the blocks move around as you do so, and so flowers are something that don't have to be placed, you know, think about a flower in real life. One of those for a 1x1 meter area does seem a little bit ridiculous. So their idea is to make it look like this when you place multiple flowers, and I think that would be much better personally. What I also think would be better is this next idea, make the warden able to cross rails. The warden, like other mobs, currently cannot cross rails due to its AI. Presumably it does not want to get ran over. However, it already has been determined the warden can't enter a minecart, and from a gameplay perspective, the warden is too powerful for a simple minecart to be a concern. You know, honestly, this is an important public safety announcement. The warden looks both ways when it crosses the street, and so should you too. Stop, because trains can't. This video is actually brought to you by the National Highway and Transport Safety Administration. They are a real company who do YouTube ads, by the way, but the only YouTube ad in this video is mentioning that you could subscribe to this channel and see more content like this one. I love these year-end recaps of the best and worst ideas. I'm really looking forward to going to the worst ones in a week or 2 from now, but for now we're going to go straight into the 46th best idea, a new incentive to go to the ancient city, the Murky Mirror. Ooh, the Murky Mirror. So this is a crude texture rendition, and honestly, I mean, I'm seeing the idea, but I don't understand its purpose, so I'm hoping they explain that. So, the Murky Mirror can be found rarely in an ancient city, but it would be in a broken form and would require 8 echo shards to repair. So, echo shards need more use, sounds good. The repaired mirror can send the player back to their spawn point when holding the use button for 10 seconds. This is to prevent easy escapes from PvE or PvP. The mirror could alert the warden and prevent cheap escapes from that too. The mirror would have 16 durability and would be repaired with echo shards for 4 durability each. Mending and unbreaking can be applied to it, but mending won't be as effective to encourage players to explore as much of the ancient city as possible to get echo shards to repair the mirror easily. In other words, this is meant to be a get back to home free card, kind of like the rope is in Pokemon. You get out of the dungeon, this could take you all the way back home, and I love that as a concept of like, yeah, when you're in a scary place, you just want to pray to yourself like there's no place like home, tap your heels a few times and go there. I do think that using this 16 times before it breaks seems a little bit powerful, because this is an amazing ability. It's not just get out of jail free, which is a nice card too, by the way, but it's also like, whoa, you could go from anywhere in the world to home. It's very, very powerful. It's It's the power an end portal gives you, but with one less step, because right now to go home, you go through the end portal, then through the second end portal in the end, whereas this would just take you straight home. But, you know, Minecraft is a game that's improving its power level. I like this one personally. I mean, don't you just look at this mirror and you want to utter words into it that you're going to be fine, that it's all going to be okay? The mirror thinks it certainly is. Speaking of the mirror, remove the bed is too far away rule. This is a decent one. I mean, I honestly find it more annoying than anything else. We don't have one for minecarts, we don't have one for boats or chests. What purpose does it serve aside from being inconvenient? And I do think there's some logic of like, well, unlike a chest which you're accessing from a distance and you can like, you know, I could open a chest like this, right? Just, I'm gonna open you up right now. Obviously a bed, you have to physically move there to sleep. You know, whenever you look at like the memes of like, oh yeah, why can't I sleep there? And then Alex goes to bed and blows up. Like when you look at that stuff, you realize like that's how beds are. You are technically, as the player, you just teleport, but as a reality, you're meant to be sleeping on there. But otherwise, I think it's annoying, so why not remove it? If 913 people agree, it has to be a good idea. Just like, what about 2.20 being the backend update? So this suggestion is going to be that Minecraft needs some serious backend update where they fix almost all of the dupe bugs, performance bugs, and actually improve performance for client and servers as well. It's unbelievable that Block Game can eat up 20 gigs of RAM just for 20 players, and I'm not even talking about performance issues while generating a world and stuff. Java was made with heavy multi-threading in mind. Why not use it? And so yeah, the idea is they need to rerun Minecraft to make it properly multi-thread to just improve performance. Because right now, when you buy a high-end PC, the question of whether you can play Minecraft should be a joke, but is a very real question. If you have a last-gen, top-of-the-line graphics card, you will not get max Minecraft performance, and that's insane. Have you seen this game? Have you looked at those cows? If you haven't, then I don't know, play some Minecraft. It's a good game. These are suggestions for it, like red vignette to indicate low health. And so yeah, this is from the picture. They're indicating like when you run into a barrier, you don't often know you're low on health until it's too late. This can happen when you're distracted, concentrating on a task or in a situation where you just don't notice. A very simple change: when your health drops below halfway, 5 hearts or less, a red vignette will appear around the edges of your screen. It will become more intense the lower your health is. When you only have 1 heart left, the red vignette will flash. This red vignette, is it vignette? Whatever. This fun thing will exist in the game and will look like you're close to the world border. So this is an idea that immediately sounds pretty good, because I'll be honest, I'm distracted all the time and don't know I'm on 3 hearts, and it'd be cool if there was some visual like, oh, you are hurt now, watch out. This is what a lot of games do, you know, the first-person shooters of the world. But the deeper question is, should Minecraft be emulating that stuff? Have the health system where it's like flashing to let you know? Why would jam around the screen make any actual sense? In real life, when you get seriously injured, you don't have red vision, as best I know. I haven't been injured in such a way where I've had red vision yet. And so should it happen in Minecraft? Well, you could do it anyway, because Minecraft doesn't have to be realistic, but it is a point of differentiation between Minecraft and other games they'd be removing if they added it. Maybe an option is the easy way to balance that, though. I think it's a perfectly swell idea. Just like making banners on shields match the resolution of a regular banner. Currently, when you put a banner on the shield, the resolution goes down, and this is to match the pixels on the shield, but it makes almost all banners look disgusting. I think they should retain their high resolution. I'm down with that. That's a nice, simple idea. Send a player a message when their spawn point is invalidated, because right now, when you die without a bed, new players can be unaware that breaking your bed removes your spawn, and you won't know until you die and it says your bed was missing or destroyed, but you've already died at that point. The problem has already killed you. And so, Minecraft players have been playing for a while, know to watch out for their beds, but there could be a proposed solution where a small message appears like, you cannot sleep right now, there are monsters nearby, you know how that appears. They could have that saying, you no longer have a valid spawn point right after you break that bed. That is a really fun idea, personally. I think the idea of letting the player know, and then they can do whatever they want with that information, is a good idea. Maybe you disagree. The next suggestion here is a way to respawn in hardcore being added to the list of banned suggestions. I mean, isn't that self-explanatory that a game mode about not dying, where dying is death forever, if you add a way to respawn, you're just making that hard difficulty again. So, I agree with that. Also, add salt. It would be found in small veins of 4 to 8, be mined with a shovel, blocking 4 salt like clay, or the block itself with silk touch. It would be used to make jerky, giving more or you could use it to cure zombie flesh into an edible food or a compostable material, and using salt on dirt blocks would kill the dirt, making it stay as dirt forever. That's a really fun idea on some level. I don't know if I love this so much. However, the 38th best idea is if a pumpkin grows on soul soil, it should turn into a white pumpkin that looks like a skull, and it's called a charred pumpkin. That's a fun idea. When we got powered rails should be crafted with copper instead of gold. The current recipe for powered rails is from a time before copper. Yeah, wait, whoa, yeah, what the heck is... I only just realized now, using gold in powered rails makes no sense now we have copper. Any recipe that uses gold in relation to redstone is as a cheap substitute for copper. Every one of those recipes should be changed back, partially because it makes more sense, but partially because I think powered rails being made out of gold is a really unfair, I think it's a bad balance. I think copper needs more uses. Let's solve that right here. This is the best idea so far. I love this. I like the murky mirror as a fun idea. I like this as a practical idea. My god. Also, the solution is the problem is there are copper farms, but the other problem is there are gold farms. You can farm every major mineral in Minecraft besides diamonds themselves, and even those you can farm diamond tools. So, you know, farms are not the solution to everything. I do think copper would make so much more sense, and it would encourage players to be like, oh yeah, that copper stuff, it makes powered rails, and they go, oh, I'd better make some powered rails, right? At least that's how I see it. Now we got replace the slime chunks concept with slime cave biomes. So instead of having random slime chunks, which is how it's worked since the dawn of slimes, really. Instead, the slime cave would dome large, round caves with a new type of stalagmite made of slime. Slimagmites. Slimes would spawn in the biome. The idea is to have some dedicated, identifiable locations where to build slime farms, because the current slime chunk mechanic requires extra tools and also knowing the seed in order to identify them, which is not immersive and not always possible on servers. I agree so much. There needs to be some in-game explanation of slime chunks besides, yeah, go looking for you know what a chunk is shouldn't have to be known by a player. Where those slime chunks are requires chunk base or a tool like that. Like, taking players out of the game as the only way to do something is not a good game design solution compared to, oh yes, these are slime biomes. You could even make them much less common because now we have enough slimes, and then people would like hunt after these slime caves, and you'd know when you found one visually. It'd be great in my opinion. Maybe they're too common, maybe they need to adjust the balance, but I think this idea, really good one. Should definitely add, actually. The new Swift Sneak enchantment should be for leggings, not boots. It's funny how that one turned out, huh? Wow, look at that, by the way. There's the proof. One of the ideas in this list made it into Minecraft already, just within the year. I think that's incredible. We also have the arrows in jungle temples should be poison-tipped arrows. So for anyone out of the loop, jungle temples have traps. They use the dispense... I can't get over that. Sorry, one sec. Let's just go back a second. The Swift Sneak suggestion here, again, it's not on the Minecraft feedback website where they usually take ideas from. This idea was so popular, and then I guess King B Dogs just decided, yeah, actually, that does make sense, doesn't it? And now we have Swift Sneak on leggings, where it makes way more sense, and is also our first legging-only enchantment. I love that. Yeah, that's great. Okay, sorry, the 34th best idea was the arrows in jungle temples should be poison-tipped arrows. The reasons being aesthetic, danger, loot, you know, actually having a fun vibe, having a real danger, and having a reason to go here. All three of those things make sense, but also there is the benefit of teaching new players and adding lore to the game. I really like this basic breakdown of saying there are 5 good reasons, and there's no real downsides besides it's a bit more dangerous, and that's something the Jungle Temple needs anyway. So I think arrows in Jungle Temples being poison tipped is such a good idea. I feel like I might have even suggested that in my How We Should Improve the Structures video earlier this year. I think it's a really good one, and I put my heart wholeheartedly behind this one. Alex443399. Speaking of your ideas, I put my heart behind the Atlas, a new way to store your maps. Oh my god, I'm just looking at the image for this alone, and I'm already in love with it. Like, yes, there should be some way to store your maps in one big, beautiful place. I think, you know, the map pool is a great idea, but what about the Atlas? Heck yeah, I love the Atlas. Next up, we've got Insulation, an item that silences redstone components with concept art. So, constant sound of droppers ticking and pistons pistoning can get very irritating, especially when working on big contraptions. That I can definitely agree on. And my idea is an item called Insulation that'd be used to mute redstone components and maybe even doors. And so, yeah, I'm actually going to look at this right now. Oh, this is the item. It looks a bit like a map or like a grilled cheese. And then there's an insulated piston. Oh, so you can apply this like you can wax certain blocks. You could insulate pistons to make them silent. I mean, in the real world, good mechanics are ones that are silent. You could argue that you're removing important redstone information with this, but by making it a choice and making it like a hard choice, it'd be something that's worth doing, but something that you wouldn't do all the time. Also, nether stars should be used to permanently light furnaces. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, the nether star right now is just used for the beacon. And once you get like 6 beacons, and if you move one around with you, you don't really want that many more beacons. But what about a permanently lit furnace, or even anything like this? This is an idea I am on board with, I have to say. 31st best suggestion? Maybe a really good one. Nether stars have been unloved for so long, because of course they've already got their use, but more uses are better in a sandbox game. That is a good one. Don't ban people from playing with their friends. If someone gets banned with Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it bans them from doing anything they could do with a logged in account, even playing in private world realms with friends. I recently said the C word, the one used for roosters, on a sign / in chat, and now I must go 3 days without playing a realm I just purchased. Yeah, that goes without saying, right? Although don't be referring to people as the cock-a-doodle-doo. That is not okay. Anyway, next up here we've got the Ghillie, a skeleton for the jungle. Apologies, but I wanted to make up with this. The jungle has been a biome that I feel is really lacking a dedicated monster. No creature truly matches its hot and humid environment, and most monsters suffer due to the sheer amount of obstacles the biome has them attempt to climb over or around. Since zombies got a second overworld regional variation, I figure it's only fair the new creature be a skeleton, plus sniping from the jungle sounds like a more effective strategy than attempting to run through it. And honestly, yeah, a ghillie skeleton hidden away with some unique fun little drop that also makes the jungles more scary at night sounds pretty fun. I mean, the jungle's already quite scary. This would be a fun addition if it's especially rare. And also, I think skeletons deserve an extra regional version, and also the jungles need an update. So what a great way to fix all of that together. Next up here, upgrade to Minecraft's inventory. Minecraft's inventory needs an update. Okay, I'm on board already. To keep up with the hundreds of items that are being added to the game through the updates, now it's really hard to manage, fills up quickly, and lacks some features I would like to propose. First suggestion, 4 inventory roads. I think this is something that would be jarring at first, but we need more space, so 9 extra, have an extra row of them, break the rule of 9, easy. Recipe book and potion effects switch places, 3 offhand slots. You could have 3 separate things. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Buttons on the top. Crafting results slot is bigger to match the crafting table. They also want to add a bundle slot to the game, and then they also have this fun idea for how you could do UIs like large chests. And honestly, looking at this doesn't seem so horrifically OP. I could see why you'd want to put that 4th row behind some item or enchantment if you really want to make it late game, but I think just give everyone an extra row of inventory and we'll be in a good place. There are so many weird items, like even in this guy's inventory, he's got he's got some seeds and some moss carpet and torches and chickens and bamboo and jungle slabs, and although a big inventory might get you more lost, I think just having 1 extra row and a slot for something like the bundle or the arrows or like something like that, honestly, that'll go a really long way. I'm a big fan of this one. You know what, Gabricraft, good job also on the mockups. I like this a lot. However, what about a new take on the shark issue? Zebra sharks. Whoa, that sounds fun. What is a zebra shark? Half shark, half zebra? No, infamously, Mojang have said they don't want to put sharks in Minecraft due to not want to make a real animal be a hostile entity, because they believe in not harming endangered animals. So what about these zebra sharks, which are a docile species and are in many places around the world, even docile ones that eat from people's hands? That sounds really cute. I need to look that up. Zebra shark eating from hands. Oh my god, this is so cute. It doesn't look like a shark at all. It looks like we're saying, what if we didn't add a shark to Minecraft and instead added something that is technically a shark but not? And it's like, well, is that what we actually wanted here? Are we not missing the point a bit? But whatever, I'm on board with it. It's adorable. Yeah, I want to look at that again, but I'm going to do that after this, because the 26th best idea is Amazon awareness and better jungles. Whoa, yeah, this idea is a jungle update. Why a jungle update? The trees are too random in height. The ground is too hilly, and the underbrush of the jungle is just a bunch of scattered logs and leaves, making it a challenge to try and get through. That's definitely correct. What could make jungle biomes better? Make them closer to their real-world counterparts. 3 biomes in one larger jungle: the forest floor, the forest canopy, and the understory. The forest floor could be a mix of dry and wet blocks, dirt and mud, with plants spawning within them based on the type. Okay. Clematis ivy growing on the trees and rocks scattered around, while large mushrooms grow on the bark of logs and trees. The forest understory would be where the majority of the wildlife lives. This is the I'm gonna look at some art. This is their idea. So this is just remember, this is concept art. This is not a commitment, everyone. However, if you take a closer look, you can see like, wow, this is a fun idea for a swamp biome. This looks nothing like a jungle to me. But I do like the idea of revamping jungles, make them look more like real life. I'm not entirely convinced this has done anything by itself, but I think more people should be thinking about how do we update the jungle and make it more actually jungly, because right now it feels like a weird forest sometimes. Speaking of weird forests, mossy wood should be a thing, like mossy stone and cobble would be great for new builds and is sort of logical. Why stone and not wood? It's funny because this idea has more upvotes than an entire jungle update, but it goes to show that people just look at this and say, yeah, we have mossy cobblestone, why not mossy other blocks? And there's a limit of where you draw the line, because we don't have mossy deep slate either, we don't have mossy wood, we don't have mossy dirt, we don't have mossy concrete, and there's probably an argument of where you have to draw the line, but I don't see why that has to not include wood. I also don't see why it can't include cement, a new way to add connected textures to vanilla Minecraft. That's an interesting idea. So cement would be a material from smelting concrete powder in a furnace. What it does is remove the lines between blocks that have a tile texture. So okay, what it would look like is like this. Oh, that looks odd. That looks very odd. There's no way around that. I think I like it though. You can see the cement there, so it is Minecrafty in that way. You're not just solving a problem, you're making it go majorly away. And yeah, it means that instead of seeing a big wall of like squares, you could see it. I like that. That would encourage new ways to start building, and it would make survival players be like, do I want cement? Is it worth it or not? I think it'd be fun. I also think chorus fruit should save you from falling into the void. Eating chorus fruit while falling in the void should teleport you to land no matter how far away it is. Or maybe have a negligible limit like 120 blocks so it can't be exploited. This makes chorus fruit actually useful. I honestly do think that chorus fruit should be able to teleport you regardless of the Y level, because then people would want to use, because right now you can use chorus fruit to get down from places. It gets you down but not up. Why not let it take you up? It's a magical fruit that teleports you. Why do we draw the line at it going upwards? I agree with this idea wholeheartedly. The 23rd, best idea by the way. Not as good though as husks dropping sand. Okay, yeah, I mean, they are in a desert. Makes sense to me. Or if a frog eats an endermite, the frog will teleport a short distance. See, minor features like this, I love tiny Easter eggs. Like the piglin dance, every time anyone sees that, they smile a little bit. It's very unlikely you'll see it in gameplay, but I love these tiny little Minecraft Easter eggs. They add some depth to the game, and whether they're worth the time or not is maybe a question for Mojang management and not for a Minecraft YouTuber, but it is something that I think is really good. Just like using the amethyst trail instead of diamond for the firework trail effect, adding a diamond to a firework adds a trail effect behind each of the particles. This is neat, but a diamond? Really? Yeah. Honestly, a lot of every time they add a new resource to the game, and once it's settled in, they should start looking at all the recipes in the game that use something as a compromise and say, should we change that now? Diamonds in fireworks are insanity. Why would anyone do that? And the answer is there's no really good reason. However, yeah, I think that that's something that would have a reason to hunt. Yeah, again, amethysts and copper, both lacking some recipes. Maybe they could go into some existing ones where they make more sense. Or maybe that's sacrilege. You tell me, internet, what you think. The 19th best suggestion of the year is that vexes are like annoying flies. Frogs should eat them. I mean, vexes are annoying flies. Why not have frogs eat them? Then we have the end update should make it more hostile instead of being able to sustain yourself to a degree. And yeah, right now the end is a little bit of a blank place. There's no real food options there, which is quite bad. But instead of being like the Nether, there should be a horrifically hostile place with a rewarding situation further out. Sounds good to me. I think that the end should have more biomes, and some of those biomes should be real dangerous. Whether you add like safe ones and ones you can live in is a different debate, but it's something I think would be fun. Next up, we have the aquatic update isn't over, but blue whales growing extinction isn't. So blue whales are going extinct. Yeah, I know, one of the biggest sea mammals there is. And although these creatures are so large, and I can't think of many reasons to be in the game besides spreading awareness, I did come up with two. They're extremely large, so they could scare drowns or guardians, and whales are playful, and honestly, this is a fun idea, and clearly over 1,000 people agree with this, Mr. Threshold. However, I don't think Minecraft should make decisions about inside the game solely for spreading awareness. There are lots of ways for Minecraft or for you to spread awareness that don't include adding it to the game. There is a limited amount of resources and time that goes into a Minecraft update. I mean, it seems like a near infinite amount because how many staff are working, but it takes a long time to make a Minecraft feature. Should they waste that on something that isn't great for gameplay but might be good for the real world? I would say they should be really careful about how many of the features that fit that criteria they should add. And is blue whale something I think that should be on that list? It sounds heartless, and maybe you can just say I am. Maybe you can say I care about Minecraft more than blue whales. But I would say, yeah, I'm sorry. I like blue whales. I like for them to exist, but I'm not going to dedicate everything in the world to it. And maybe Minecraft developers will. But we'll see though. Next up we have make black dye obtainable by non-cruel means. Right now the only way to get black dye is with murder. And if you want to be a pacifist, no black dye for you, because no squid killing. However, what if you could use charcoal, and 1 charcoal could be ground up into 4 black dye? I think this is a little bit of a... again, it's got the idea of like, well, in Minecraft, you can be as cruel as you like to animals because they're fake. But I think for like pacifist runs, there is a real argument about like, yeah, this would be interesting, wouldn't it? Adding charcoal to the game as a black dye alternative, it would be interesting for lots of players. And so I think in general, should they add more ways to get dye? Yeah. Should that include black dye? Yeah, it does feel a bit weird that it's got 1 source, whereas a lot of other types like blue and white and red have 2 or even more. So yeah, more black dye sources makes sense. Next, we have change banned behavior to muted behavior. If Mojang must go for a censoring route. So yeah, the idea is that muted players would have all the restrictions that banned players have, but they wouldn't have their access to Minecraft multiplayer revoked. This was during the controversy around 1.19.1, I think it was. And obviously, yeah, the answer is, well, they should do that. Their argument was that you can harass people even while you're muted. But I think, like, if you're going to harass people while you're muted, you're going to harass people while you're banned. You're just going to make a new account, right? If you're that dedicated to the harassment game, then, maybe we need to work out some better ways to stop that. But either way, that's a debate for 1.19.1. What is way more fun is Copper needs sinks, not just uses. TLDR, Copper doesn't need one-time uses. That doesn't solve the problem. Copper needs sinks, uses that the player continuously pours copper into. Don't shove copper into random recipes where it might not even fit. Instead, have long-term solutions. So their idea here, it's a very long post. It's very well put together. Their idea here is that copper is very common, and that Mojang decided to focus on the rusting, which Novablock did, but they should have something that requires you to continuously throw copper in there. So their solution is effective copper sinks. So the idea is that coal sink is fuel. You can always use more coal because you can always make more furnaces or torches. Iron has a bajillion sinks. You need it for your gear in the early game, you need it for hoppers, etc. So their idea is that copper's current sink is just building, but instead there should be more ways to build if that's going to be the case, and copper should be useful for redstone components. You should be excited to find a vein of copper, not just so you can make a copper block or something, but also because it's going to allow you to make a ton of new redstone stuff, item filters. You can make a redstone update out of copper blocks, and you get people excited for 2 things, for redstone and for copper. I think it's a good idea. What do you think? This is one of those really well written out posts that actually considers like, I don't just want new copper things because I want them. I think they're good on a game design level. I think a lot of people come up with meme ideas like the Piglin King is going to be the next one here. But people come up with meme sounding ideas because like, wow, that would be fun, wouldn't it? But thinking about what would actually help the gameplay balance of Minecraft, it's significantly less common, but it's something more people should be doing. Anyway, the next idea here is the Piglin King, and it immediately is making me feel bad about calling it a meme idea because they say Technoblade deserves a spot in the game, big or small, that's just how I feel. An idea that's more than just a simple Easter egg, a pig Technoblade to give it a crown, is not that interesting. It already got boring within a day. So their idea is the Piglin King, which is protected by Piglin Brutes. And honestly, one of the saddest events of this year I think we should reflect on is Technoblade's passing, right? I think it's had a big effect on anyone who was who was close with him, or even if you're just subscribed to him and you knew, like, having someone so young go from something so tragic is something that is going to have an effect on the community, and it's crazy that it's something that we can still memorialize, and I'm glad that we do. Even Minecraft's launch with the pig crown, I thought that was beautiful. It made me genuinely smile and happier. However, I think in Memorial, you don't have to add it. It's the same thing with like, yeah, it's a good idea to add, in the same way that you don't need to add a mob to the game just because it's good for, like adding awareness to real life. Even though Technoblade does deserve a tribute, a permanent Minecraft mob for it is not necessarily the way you want to set a precedent, right? It shouldn't be every time a prominent member of the Minecraft community dies, they get a Minecraft mob, or we'd never get mobs for anything else. Is the Piglin King a good enough idea to add regardless of Technoblade? I don't think it is, and that is the reason they should or shouldn't add something. A good memorial that's a bad Minecraft feature is a bad memorial, in my personal take. And I think the much more fitting one is the pig with the crown in the Minecraft logo. That is them showing that they care. That is everyone being able to point to something. Whereas, having a bad mob would be a terrible legacy. Imagine if you died and they made the Phantom after you. I'd be cursing that guy's name right now, and that's not good for him or for you. Anyway, speaking of things, it's time for a better mob vote. The idea is skip the mob vote, just make whichever mob the devs like the most, or make all of them. I don't care. Instead, let's vote for something that no matter what wins, it's a great thing for the world. I think that that is... You defeat, it is true that they could add all of the mobs every year, but the point is they're filtering out which one is best. Which one do players want the most? It's kind of arbitrary when they say that, like, we will add all 3 of them, but maybe they don't get around to it. Maybe they should be better about adding the other ideas at some point in the future. But I think in general, mob votes are not a bad thing, just because 40% of players don't get what they want. And even if it's 60% or 65%, a lot of players, the majority, the plurality of players get something they like, and every Minecraft player gets to enjoy it. I mean, besides the Phantom, everyone's enjoyed every Minecraft mob. That's probably why they stopped adding hostile ones for the votes, huh? Anyway, next up we have the Mule Cart, a replacement for the Land Boat. You know what I think is kind of silly in this game? Land Boat is the only method for transporting certain mobs from place to place. It's stupid, slow, and tedious, and even the tiny dip from a path to a grass block is an impenetrable wall for a land boat. And that is... it's ridiculous, but it's true. So now they suggest we give the basically never used mob of the donkeys and mules something to do, pulling a cart that can carry mobs over lands. I love that as an idea. I mean, the cart just looks kind of fun, as you can see right here. They invented the square wheel just to make Minecraft work. But yeah, land boats are ridiculous, and even though ridiculous things in Minecraft are fun, having a better solution for those who are willing to make it is something they should totally do. You could also make the mule cart hold an extra chest if you wanted to, the mule cart chest, and now boom, we've got a real exciting use for these mobs, because you could put a chest in there on the way there, bring a mob on the way back. I love this idea. I'm totally on board. It's the 11th best idea though. How do 10 other ideas come above it? Well, one of them is the Wild Update Good Ending, exploring the lost half of 1.19. They got this real nice graphic for it, and wow, look how nice these birch forests could be. And their idea is basically, what if we made an entire update to make the lost half of the Wild Update? The grassy birch forest, the birch mushrooms plus immunity, the oak hammock forest, hanging leaves and falling leaves, updating the swamp. We got added fireflies and the peace lanterns, marshy swamp algae and lily pads, added wildflowers. I mean, like, all of these images are looking crazy, but the wildflowers really do just something about them excites me. Maybe I don't know entirely why. So yeah, looking at all of these ideas, I agree. Wild Update Part 2, let's do it. Why are we bothering with not making Part 2 updates anymore? It's clear I think that's probably the challenge, right? They're all good ideas, but is it worth adding them for the time? I don't know, but I think this is one of the best the best quality posts of the year. I'm glad it made the top 10. On the other hand, we've got placing wool under a rail makes minecarts passing over it silent. Yes, in the same way installation exists, having these dumb like noises could be easily replaced with just, when it's on wool, it doesn't make a noise. Having wool be the noise dampening block, in fact, of choice, if you have a wool box around something you can't hear noises, that would be really, really cool. You could live in a wool house to avoid noise, and I just think it's a great idea. The 8th best idea, though, is add fossil variants of mobs that lost the vote. Oh, wow, yeah, this is such a cool idea. Like, every mob that loses the vote, obviously, it's, especially the ones that lost the vote and will never be added, have fossil variants to represent that they existed, but now they're long gone. I love good Minecraft lore this is something they should add. Mojang, please do not mess up Java Edition with the chat reporting. Okay, that's old. Then we've got animal beds, which is funny. And then we've got Mojang should not implement the chat reporting system. Then we've got, instead of dying, the warden despawns. Once the warden's HP reaches less than 10%, the warden becomes immune and plays a despawn animation where he digs into the ground. This means that you don't actually defeat the warden, he just retreats and despawns, giving the player a feeling of victory, but no leaving questions as to why there isn't any loot. This was actually probably a better solution than the Sculk Catalyst, because the Sculk Catalyst can be farmed, but no one, I don't know anyone who's doing it for not meme reasons, so I think it's a good idea. Not as good of an idea as lattice blocks, the wood versions of glass panes, because trapdoors are used so often, and I hate trapdoors when they're used as in this place personally. Lattice blocks would be essentially what you get if you mix a trapdoor with a glass pane. I am loving the look of these things. I like it a lot. I think lattice blocks make a lot of sense, and I mean, do you look at these and you say they're not good? Because if you do, I think you're lying. However, the one that excites me most, I've only seen the image so far, is zombies with wooden doors for shields. Minecraft has had shields in it for a while, but no mobs to utilize them. It seems the wildfire was originally intended to demonstrate the mechanic, but it lost the vote and is now gone forever. Barring a monster with shield-like anatomy, the obvious pick for a shield wielder is a humanoid, preferably melee focused. So zombies love breaking down and picking up wooden doors, so why not have them use them as protection from arrows? This would make for a truly fearsome zombie when they spawn in hordes. You can't AoE them, you have to take them down, and you have to use the axe to do so. That would be seriously good. You could have other wooden door varieties, you could have shield down mode, you could have door whack as a way for them to attack you. This is honestly so cool, and then they could hold it over their head. It is the second best idea of the year, and I see why. It just inspires me in a way, but it doesn't inspire most Minecraft players as much as the best suggestion of the entire year. What's it gonna be? What is the very best suggestion of 2022? That is, the Deep Dark should be dead silent. Ooh. No music, no ambience, nothing. The only sounds are the ones made by your own footsteps and mobs, with the warden existing and the Deep Dark feeling like a pretty perfect way for Minecraft to add true suspense and fear to something while still being family friendly. While unnerving ambience is effective, dead silence gives stronger feelings of fear and dread which no sound can replicate, which is perfect for the Deep Dark. This is such a popular idea that it is the best of the year, and I see why. Something about nothingness is spooky after the cutesy like do 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 that happens in the rest of the game. It is totally true that that's the case, and yeah, so as a result I think that Deep Dark Silence is a good idea. But I think zombies using wooden doors is probably the best one in my opinion. Maybe a close second being the mule cart. You know, like mob votes improvements are really, really great, and copper having more uses, these are all great. I even love the lore for the fossil mob vote, but the one that really, really flaws it all is zombies using doors. Something about this is terrifying. This is a zombie that has wrecked a village and he's coming for you next, and personally I think that is such a great idea to add to the game, and that is why it's my best of the year. But what's your favorite idea of this year? In fact, if you have another one, you can leave it down below, but these have been the best Minecraft suggestions of 2022. If you enjoyed this video, please do like it, and I'm looking forward to next week going through the worst suggestions of this year. I mean, how bad can they be, right? How bad can they be? I often find bad ideas are so bad they become good, so I'm excited for it for that reason, but we'll find out next week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.